Hello, my dear friends. I hope you guys are doing fine today. I decided to make a short video on this topic right here. I'm not going to make a long video talking about it because some other people have made videos on this interview, but I want to just give my 2 cents here. So, as you probably know, Bill Duffy interviewed this pilot, Wolfit 6020, I think like 6 weeks ago, 7 or I don't know, 2 months ago. So Will's strategy is to prove the globe by making a documentary on TV, just a documentary and propaganda, and hiring shield actors, people who have been in other documentaries before. But anyway, on the interview, I would recommend you think Roddy Cooper. He did an excellent take on this interview. And also Nick is covering this. He had part 1 and he already has part 2. Flatzoid also did a short video, 48 minutes, talking about this interview. So I'm not going to be talking a lot about it. I just want to bring up maybe 3 or 4 points. But what I really want to demonstrate today is my personal experience with this guy. We all know that now that to be a pilot, you don't even need to have a college degree. All you need is a high school diploma. Just for you to have an idea, pilots are not that smart. Look at this one here. Pilot arrested at Kentucky airport for alleged 2015 triple homicide. Off-duty pilot charged with 83 counts of attempted murder. Airline pilot arrested for writing offensive graffiti at Tallahassee Airport. Southwest Airlines pilot arrested for DUI. Houston area pilot arrested after assaulting officer directing traffic at airport. Frontier Airlines pilot dragged off flight by cops after assault family violence warrant issued for his arrest. Phone and travel limits imposed on jailed pilot. United Airlines pilot arrested for indecent exposure. United pilot accused of running half-dozen brothels in Houston area. Pilot arrested on toilet jail for cocaine smuggle plot. Pilot arrested at Florida airport with loaded gun and carry-on, police say. Local pilot arrested in extraordinarily disturbing child porn case. JetBlue pilot among 6 arrests in Boston drug bust. Off-duty Pleasant Hill pilot arrested after allegedly trying to shut off San Francisco plane's engines. So here are a few of crazy pilots out there that made the headlines. Many of them don't make the headlines. So the main topic of this video today is to stress that the same pilot that Will Duffy interviewed, and perhaps will land a role in his coming documentary, posted threats towards me about 5-6 years ago. He used to constantly comment on my channel. He started off, I think, late 2017, and I would make videos debunking his claims. Until there was a time when he no longer could take it, my debunking of his, which I will expose today, some of them. So he started posting threats, and here I have 3 of them that I saved the screenshots over the years. They were not posted all at once, okay? These were posted on my channel in different days and under different videos. And the first one here, I look forward to the day you move to New Zealand. I will pay you a visit. So we all now understand what does I will pay you a visit means. I don't know the guy, and it's from Australia. I had made plans to spend a year in New Zealand, and when he found out, he said he was going to pay me a visit there. Another one, when you move to New Zealand under Commonwealth law, we'll get you for fraud. Talking about my book. I have a lot of interesting points on my book, and I think a judge would love to hear from him proving that he adjusts the plane manually for the Coriolis effect. So all of these would be interesting to see in court. The last one that I have saved, hey Eddie, you should see what your daughters are writing about you online. So my daughters at the time were like 13 years old. Was this guy like stalking my daughters online and see what they were posting or not? What was the situation back then? So he was bullying people online a lot, and he left those 3 threads. Actually, there were a couple more that I decided to just delete the whole thread instead of keeping. But this is the guy who was interviewed by Will Duffy. Perhaps he will land a role in the coming mockumentary. But anyway, let's go on, and I'm gonna cover some of his only 3 or 4 points on this interview, and I will debunk them right away. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, but on the globe, down is towards the center of the globe. So my finger is showing the direction of down at various points on the globe. And not understanding this, and not understanding that if you have a direction of down, you have 90 degrees to that, that's horizontal. So that's how aircraft instruments define horizontal, by knowing the direction of down and going 90 degrees to that. That's horizontal. So when we talk about pitch attitude, we'll come back to that later, the horizontal that they're referring to is 90 degrees to down, and that direction of down changes around the Earth. If they could understand that, most of their claims and arguments are just empty, worthless.
So down is towards the center of the Earth, huh? So I bet those guys that sang that song, Land Down Under, probably they were flat earthers. They didn't know that down is towards the center. So when you say you're from the land down under, that'll be at the center of the Earth. But anyway, this guy claims that a 90-degree angle works on a ball when we know it doesn't. You need a flat baseline to calculate for example, the rate of descent. You don't calculate the rate of descent on a ball Earth. I have a playlist of rate of descents calculated by pilots on YouTube. None of them calculate the rate of descent of an aircraft on a ball.
Horizontal is there, but if we move to this part of the Earth, horizontal is like that.
Still looks curved to me. It's not a flat baseline. You need a flat baseline to calculate rate of descent and elevation angles.
And so if I put it on this globe here, and this flight is now flying around the globe, has the pitch changed?
It hasn't. It hasn't. When you look at it externally, as we see, it looks like the plane is pitching down. But again, if you look at it from the perspective of the aeroplane, where the pitch data is actually being derived from, it's not changing at all.
So this guy definitely is not smart. Because if you fly, for example, from North America to South America, and you tell that the airplane is not pitching down, it's because you fly on the flat Earth. The same as considering that you can go on roundabout and say that you're not steering the wheel of the car. It's impossible. You cannot be flying over a ball, having a 360 degrees over a ball, without pitching down the nose of the airplane. So this guy is using his credential as a pilot to misinform the people. You have to tilt the nose down of the airplane if you're going 360 degrees over a ball. Just like you need to be steering the driving wheel right or left if you're going around a roundabout. So there's no way you cannot go 360 around a ball or a circle without making the necessary adjustments, either by steering the wheel if you're driving or pitching down, just like in aviation. Elevator up, nose up. Elevator down, nose down. You need to have that elevator down in order to be tilting down and adjusting for the curvature of the Earth. There's no other way.
If we do that same demonstration, the plane is there. What the plane is seeing is this. The pitch data is being derived at the aircraft, and down is always directly down towards the center of the Earth. So it makes perfect sense that flying around a globe, the pitch data is not going to change. This is the massive misunderstanding the flat earthers have. Yeah.
This is a massive misinformation from this pilot. How can you go around a ball without pitching down the nose of the airplane? There's no way. The airplane is not static in the air, having the bulwark turning underneath. That's what he claims. He claims that the Earth is turning under the airplane, just like this pilot here.
But there are other drifts as well. Remember how we talked about the fact that the that the Earth was rotating and that the IRSs could feel that rotational speed. Well, as the aircraft gets airborne, the Earth will still be rotating under it, and this will cause errors as well when it comes to, for example, the speed. So once again, this is something that needs to be compensated for. And if you're traveling in a north-southerly direction, the Earth will rotate below you as well, and the way that you fly, even though it looks like a straight line over the Earth's surface, since the Earth is constantly rotating, it means that the aircraft is also kind of constantly turning.
So if the Earth is spinning under the airplane, you would never get to your destination, genius. If you're flying at the equator, 550 miles per hour ground speed, and the Earth is rotating at 1,040 miles per hour, you would never arrive at your destination. And Wolfie 6020 claims the same thing.
And the third point we're going to look at is how aircraft adjust for Coriolis. In this video, the Coriolis effect is no problem for aircraft, if you catch my drift. I show the aircraft correcting for a very strong crosswind, 140 knots of crosswind, which is causing 19 degrees of drift. The ground track is 203 degrees. The aircraft heading is 221 degrees. It is compensating easily for a 140 knot crosswind.
Yeah, it's compensating for crosswinds, not for the rotation of the Earth. Just look at the figure number 2. The airplane is flying over a flat Earth. The data is real data from NOAA projected onto a flat Earth. You see winds going in both directions. So the aircraft has to adjust because as in a direct flight from, let's say, Sydney to Alaska, it will be flying straight and crossing through the path of the winds which go in both directions. So the aircraft, to maintain flight route, has to adjust because it keeps being pushed either to the right or to the left, either west or east because of the winds. Same argument, what if Wolf 6020 is flying at the equator? How will his aircraft adjust for the spin of the Earth in this orientation? If the Earth is turning under the airplane at a faster speed than the aircraft can its capabilities, how can it do that?
But their argument is that the aeroplane's in a jet stream that is adding hundreds and hundreds of miles per hour to the speed to explain the extra distance. And another thing I've heard is that the planes fly faster than what we're told. Completely wrong. This aeroplane that I fly, it's nice, it's fast, it can cruise up to 90% of the speed of sound, but it can't fly faster than the speed of sound. It's not designed for that. The type of engines it has won't operate faster than the speed of sound efficiently. It's just a ridiculous claim, especially to think that airliners are flying faster than the speed of sound. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, but you're not flying those routes. But still, let's take a look at this. Transatlantic airplanes are flying the speed of sound right now, and here's why. Roaring tailwind just hurled a passenger plane at 826 miles per hour. A Virgin Atlantic flight hit supersonic speed because of super strong winds. So that's what we are saying. Certain routes like Sydney to Santiago, you fly along the jet streams. It's known since 1962. You have an official document by the Colorado State University demonstrating that the speed of the jet streams can reach up to 300 knots, and even on the document says for that airlines should make good use of these jet streams in aviation. So yes, aircraft will reach the speed of sound easily. The airplane flies much faster. That's what we are saying. I'm not saying that flying in every direction, every single route is helped by the jet streams. But the important ones, Sydney to Santiago, South Africa to Perth, those routes make use of the jet streams as it was recommended by the study back in 1962.
As an example, we fly Sydney to Perth quite often, and going from Sydney to Perth, we're usually flying into a headwind. Coming Perth to Sydney, we're usually flying with a tailwind. So there's about an hour difference in the flight time, going to Perth and then coming back. It's usually faster coming back.
Yes, genius, because you fly on a flat, non-rotating Earth. against the winds. If Earth was rotating under the airplane, it wouldn't take an hour longer. Genius. It would take 2 hours from Sydney to Perth if Earth was rotating under the aircraft.
Well, as the aircraft gets airborne, the Earth will still be rotating under it.
The Earth will still be rotating under it.
So I'm not going to waste my time here any longer just talking about this interview. You guys can watch, the videos by Flatzoid, Rory Cooper, and Nick, because, it's too much of nonsense for me. This genius pilot that claims that Earth is rotating under the airplane, or others say that it's Velcro with the wind. They don't have a consensus. So that's all for today. I just want to expose this guy as someone who was bullying people back 5-6 years ago, threatening people, leaving comments like the ones I presented to you guys today. But Earth is flat, as has always been. We're not going anywhere. We have the sun and the moon created on the 4th day, rotating over a flat stationary Earth. See you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.